Hey, so I had just a few minutes this morning to mess with Oakley a little bit, and I thought maybe I'd share in case there was anything we could talk about here. So I have not gotten to mess with Oakley in some time. We don't get a ride much or do anything lately, so she's just been hanging out on a dry lot, and she is extremely happy to see some grass. As you can tell, she's very eagerly munching already. I also have a little passenger there on my back with no babysitter. I typically end up having to take Declan with me everywhere. Now, right off the bat, you could tell I had to raise my energy a little just to get her up off that grass. She really would rather spend her time eating that. But a little energy burst there, and she's up and moving and ready to go. I like anytime she gives me an effort to pay attention and turn her body in and look at me. So I do have to be a little careful to keep her out of my space. She tends to crowd a little bit. So that's why you'll often see me backing her away, because she'll come in with too much energy and just crowd me too much. So I often have to back her out and have her just stand there. It's also hard for her to stand and relax and be calmer out at the end of the rope. She's better up close. So here we're typically just asking her to do a little sideways without her wanting to take off around a circle. That's pretty hard for her to back out and just go sideways without attempting to trot off. You can see with that little head switch and little tail flip, she's got a little bit of energy in her. She can be pretty spicy when she wants to be. The ground's not great out here today. It's pretty wet, so she's slipping a little bit here and there. I don't want her to get going too fast, but when you change directions, you can tell that really lights her up. She gets pretty fired up and ready to go. That's a good way to get your more lazy left brain horses to wake up a bit, is do some quick changes of directions. Not a lot of them in a row, though, because every time you change directions, you tire your horse out a little bit more. It takes some more effort. And since she's a little bit reactive, a little high-headed today, we keep going back to friendly game, kind of testing to see where we're at. There, I really hit the ground pretty hard, so I wanted to give her a chance to show me if she's still comfortable with that. You can see she's a little concerned, but she's choosing to stay with me and trust. I'm trying to get her to back up a little bit off my energy without me needing to use my hand to move the rope around, and then move sideways. Now here she gets a little bit flustered, if I remember correctly. I'm asking her to go sideways and yield her hip a little bit, and she gets a little fired up. So she's been a little reactive, a little goofy. So we just stick with that pressure until she yields her hips, and then I'm asking her to step sideways. There we go. She's still a little quick and a little off rhythm there, not real relaxed, but I can work with that. It's a good effort. Here I'm asking her to continue to back on up. You can't see my body language very well because her head's in the way, but I'm kind of marching at her with my hands. And there she takes off with a whole lot of energy. She's really wanting to eat that grass. So part of what some of these left brain horses will do to try to kind of get their way a little bit, maybe get you to back off and leave them alone, is they might try bursts of energy like that to see if it intimidates you. I found this with her, especially if I'm working on a lot of asking her to really work at the trot under saddle. She may pop into a canter a few times to see if that canter is enough to get me to kind of say, oh, never mind, and slow down and kind of give up. But when I don't, she gives up right away. So here's some of these changes of directions. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to reel the rope in a little bit and give her kind of a forewarning that I'm fixing to change directions, like there, and then move my stick out and get her attention. So I'm giving her a lot of pre-signal, a whole lot of, shortening the rope, reeling in the rope, switching my hands, and even still, she's kind of not with me mentally, so she kind of runs into my space when I've got that stick out in the air, and that's why she kind of jumped and turned around real quick. If you back up and watch that a few times, you'll see she almost looked surprised, like, oh crap, there's a stick in my way. She gets better with a little practice. Since she got kind of fired up, here's another friendly game. We're just going to hang out and graze and just be close to each other and not have it be a big deal. Let her relax near me. And she has a little trouble wanting to back out. She wants to keep moving sideways and taking off on a circle. So we're just sticking with it. Disengage, relax, turn and face, give me both eyes. Back away straight. The yo-yo game's all about straightness. Yeah, she was a little quieter on the send there. I'm going to want her to walk. Walking on a circle is a little harder for her, so I didn't really want her to trot there, but she went into it, so I'm going to offer her a chance to speed up a little bit before I ask her to slow back down, excuse me. I'm going to want her here to circle at a walk. I wanted to work on little walk, trot transitions. But walking out on a circle is the hardest for her for a couple of reasons. One, this rope is weighted pretty heavy. So when she's on a circle at a walk, the weight of the belly of the rope hanging down is enough to bring her face in. She's relatively responsive to that pressure. So she does bend her body around, but her head will tend to get kind of tugged in a little bit. And it'll drag on the ground and kind of snag and catch her. Also, just maintaining gait out there all by herself is harder for her. She'd rather kind of trot, and it's almost like she's thinking, let's hurry up and get to point B and get this over with so we can quit. So here I'm asking her to slow down. When I do slow her down, she automatically tends to want to come in. She kind of says, oh, we're done. Not necessarily. Slow down. So there I'm kind of shaking the rope. I'm just trying to disrupt her rhythm a little. Just asking her for a little walk. Oh, but don't graze. Stay out and walk. Oh, she broke to a trot. So I think I gave her a chance to canter there again. Okay, if you want to go, then let's go a little bit. Let's get your feet moving. That's actually a pretty nice little canter. She's kind of throwing her head around and, playing a little bit. You see her ears really flicking back and forth. She's got a lot of communication going on. She's trying to figure out how she can win this game and eat some grass. I'm going to give her a moment there to digest that. I got a couple decent circles. I didn't feel like she was trying to speed up on me still, so we'll let it go at that. Just really wanted to check her out all around, not really trying to teach her anything new, just kind of test the buttons. Right here, how little weight can I use on my hand to raise her nose off the grass? You can do that by yielding the hindquarters a little bit, which is what I'm showing here. I lift the rein, and if she responds, then I just leave her be and rub her with the stick. If she doesn't respond when I raise my hand, then I'm going to tap her on the hips or push her personal space bubble at least. I may not even make contact. Yielding her front end around little again. How much does it take to get your front end to come up off that grass and yield away from me? Calmly. She's a little scattered and a little chaotic. So we're looking for rhythmic motion. That's a little smoother. That was better. When they're a little high-headed and jumpy, it can really help to use that stick to rub them to a stop if you have to touch them with the stick to get them to move. Like there. I'm asking her to move her hips towards me, and she can be a little bit wanting to ignore me, and then when I have to tap her, it can kind of upset her a little bit. So that's one way to get her to relax and not get jumpy about the stick while still being able to sensitize her to it a little bit so that she can respond to me without needing to be pulled on or corrected all the time.